Men who are average height, not short, just average, are increasingly functionally invisible to a growing majority of women. Like women. Imagine you were just average attractive, which, spoiler alert, you probably are, and having 90% of men just ignore you. You could be charming or smart or funny or rich, but because you were just average looking, not ugly, mind you, just average, the vast majority of men would just never give you a shot. That would be tough, wouldn't it? And there just isn't much a guy can do about his height, short of getting stilts implanted in his shins, which I would not recommend. He is the height that he is. It might mean that he is at an unfair advantage in life, and in the marketplace in particular. But them's the breaks.
I snapped all the black men away. Would a white man accept you? The average white man.
You mean like the same way you say average for black people?
Yeah, if I snapped all the black men away, could you expect white men, average white men, above average white men, would they come and say, well, sure, Becky or you, yeah, sure, would white men take you?
Maybe if it wasn't, no.
Okay, would a Chinese man take you? Would Asian men take you?
No.
Would Middle Eastern men? Stop. Would Middle Eastern men take you?
No, probably not.
No, because you know you couldn't come to them with the same thing you come to a black man with. Listen.
Why do you think that is?
Listen. Because we are not beneath you. Your standards is you think black men should accept. Why would you expect a black man to accept what you know a white man, an Asian man, and a Middle Eastern man wouldn't expect?
Kevin Samuels was so hated by the woman.
Kevin Samuels, KS, who is now deceased, thankfully.
Celebrated his
Ding dong. The wicked witches didn't follow him because I didn't like the way he talked to women. But now we ain't got to worry about that and got to hear him no more.
and he ain't never killed nobody. He never raped nobody. He was known for beating women. They celebrated his death, and all of them ran to him for his word.
Beyonce's an 8, Kelly Rowland would be a 9, and Rihanna, even with her big forehead, would be a 10.
Okay.
He didn't seek it out. And he was so gentlemanlike.
Straight line.
He was so professional. He wasn't like me to say, but Kevin Samuels done it in a stern, gentlemanlike way. But our women celebrated his death. But they'll clap for the gay. They'll clap for the gangster.
The reason why women are always saying we don't need men is because we don't need men, and society is constantly telling us that we do. If everyone constantly told you that you can't be self-sufficient, you can't function unless you have a woman, wouldn't you be like, no, that's not true? Women didn't just start screaming from the rooftops one day that we don't need men. We said that in response to the fact that everyone's saying that we need men. This might seem like an insult, but it's actually a simple fact. And it's really great, because it means that if a woman's hanging out with you, it's not because she needs you, it's because she likes you. We don't need men, so if she's with you, it's because she wants you. You're wanted. How horrible. I've also never heard any woman say that any is grape. If someone called your grape, you might want to look into that, bro. I love a lot of women love. My husband and I have had a lot, and he's very obviously never graped me. In fact, if you think this is a take that women have, you should maybe be on a list. It's like really simple. With consent, not grape. And remember, consent isn't her saying some password, it's her wanting to do it on her own volition. It's remarkably simple.
Women have no problem telling man, oh, he think he all that. Oh, he think he's so fine and he not. He whack, he lame. He not even that cute. Women have no problem doing that to men, but when men turn it around, women find so much fault. Oh, why are we limiting people to this? What about my personality? A lot of women are in a space where they're always condemning the man. Oh no, girl, he was fine, but I don't know. His hairline wasn't perfect. Oh, girl, he was fine, but can you believe that he was wearing Gucci cologne instead of, this cologne? Oh, no, I could never be with a man who wear this cologne. Tell me you broke without telling me you broke. Like, foolish. Oh, it was all good until, he talking about, we could only do this or we could only go on a date here for our first time meeting. Brokey. Like, this is what women do. How do I know? I see it on TikTok on a daily basis.
I think we live in a crazy system of dating. There's women that believe that they can give as little as possible, as minimal as possible, and men are expected to fund their entire life. Pay bill, rent, car payments. It's a system where women can take and take and take, but when asked to give, men are met with a lot of hesitation or downright refusal. Relationships, marriages are give and take on both sides. And if you are looking to be financially dependent upon a man, that he has to meet certain standards, financially, looks-wise, spiritually, personality-wise, maybe have a little bit of status, we cannot get mad at that man for having standards. You have standards. That man is allowed to decide. He's worked hard enough to decide what he wants in his life, what it looks like, it sounds like. And shaming that is immature.
As a woman, I can admit what most women want. Dating is brutally unequal, and average men pay the price for it. The average woman doesn't need to become exceptional to have options. The average man usually does. He has to earn attention, earn respect, earn attraction, earn the right to even be considered. And if he's average, he gets overlooked fast. That's the part people keep lying about. Women talk about equality, but when it comes to dating, men are still expected to bring more, do more, and be more just to qualify. That's why so many men are frustrated. They aren't crazy. They're reacting to a system that's far less forgiving to them. The average woman starts with options. The average man starts by proving he deserves any.
The real problem with modern dating is we're all hurt. Both men and women. We've fallen in love, we've given it everything, and we've had our heart broken. And so the next time you hold back a little more, and a little more, and a little more, until eventually you do meet someone who would have admired you and adored you and respected you and loved you, but they're only meeting the version of you that's protecting yourself. And so men don't 100% pursue women, and women don't soften to the man who could hold them, and something real never gets the opportunity to develop. I'm Harriet, I'm a dating coach, and I would love to hear from you. What's your perspective? What do you think is wrong with modern dating?
A lot of women are incredibly irrational with what they consider to be acceptable behavior. Think about this. A woman who aggressively confronts a man, or raises her voice, or stands up for herself, is considered to be brave and powerful and strong and independent. But when a man does the exact same thing, he's being toxically masculine. At the same time, women will preach that their ability to show emotion makes them more secure and emotionally intelligent. But when they get into an argument with a man, they'll say things like, "I don't know why you're being so emotional," as though it's suddenly a bad thing. So they celebrate acting like toxically masculine men while accusing men of being evil for the exact same behavior. And then they'll mock and belittle men for doing things that they themselves take pride in. So do the math. Women are celebrated for acting both extremely masculine and extremely feminine, while men are ridiculed for both. Still think feminism is about equality? Okay.
Let's be honest. Marriage is officially the worst investment a man can make in 2026. We keep asking why men are staying single, but look at the actual cost-benefit analysis. He's expected to be the provider, the protector, and pay every single bill on time. And what does he get in return? A permanent roommate who's grumpy 6 days a week. We've reached a point where men are subs in their lifestyle for women who don't even like them. If a man ran his business the way he runs his marriage, he'd be bankrupt in a month. He's putting in 100% of the capital for a 1% return on intimacy if he's lucky. Since when did once a month become the standard for a high-performance partnership? Ladies, we can't demand traditional provision while offering zero traditional peace. Modern women want a CEO husband but offer the attitude of a disgruntled middle manager. Why would a rational man sign a contract where he loses half his assets if she gets bored? It's not fear of commitment. It's a basic understanding of a bad trade. We've priced ourselves out of the market and we're wondering why the buyers are leaving. If there's no peace, no intimacy, and no financial logic, what exactly is the benefit here?
Something's going to get done. It might not be perfect the way you, and when I say perfect, it might not be exactly the way you want it, right? You want it to be cold. It might be a little bit colder than you want, slightly hotter. That's why they make a fan, because sometimes I'm a little bit hotter and I know it's cold in here, but I'm hot. So, I want it a little bit hotter. This is what a lot of modern women are arguing over. A man has made it oh, I'm so hot. Man has made it colder. Oh, it's not cold enough. You still need to do more. And they make it seem like the difference between, let's say, 69 degrees and 70 degrees is huge, but it actually isn't. Well, it feels like that. I understand that it feels like that. But if it feels like that, then just get a fan. Just get a fan. Every situation is different. Modify it to what you want. All I'm saying is men have gone out there and fought. I don't see women going out there by and large and fighting. Men have fought in order for you to be in this era that you're currently in, and you're still complaining about it. It's not perfect and we really don't need men. You don't need men because men have, like the man even had to, I don't even know why this is even a point of contention. He even had to admit, even while defending women, yeah, rightfully so. But women still don't need, yeah, obviously. If I go out there and build a road, is it any need that somebody needs to drive on the grass anymore? No, because it's just a road right there. It's a way that somebody has paved, and we could use it for decade in and decade out, and you go out and repair it and still use the same thing. It's the same road. You might change the name of it, but it's still the same freaking road. Man, modern women don't go out and fight for anything, but have the most complaints. Oh, he ain't doing me right, and this and that, and the value in it. Now we get to raise the standard. What standard? Build something first. Look at a system and say, okay, we need to change with this. Okay, then go build your own society. Wait, you haven't been doing that. So what are we talking about?
The hardest thing I had to learn to stop being an incel was that women don't need men anymore is a good thing. But as a man, that made me feel useless and unwanted. And I overperformed and overachieved just to feel needed. And every time I went into a relationship, I'd find someone who needed me, helped them, dated for a while, and then they replaced me with someone that they wanted. Nowadays, women can get jobs, they can have bank accounts, and they don't need us. But that means that the women that are in a relationship, they've chosen the person they want. I'm now in a relationship where my girlfriend is a higher earner than me, and she's in a full-time job, and she goes to college. She is incredible. And she bought me these awesome shark slippers. How freaking cool they are. And she got them because we play Fortnite together. And I'm here doing a part-time job and making videos on the internet. I am in no ways a high-value man, but my woman has chosen me because she liked me. And that's the big difference, is women don't need men anymore, which is a good thing for men, because it means that when a woman chooses to be with you, it's because she wants you. Be someone worth wanting. That's my advice. And just in case anyone hasn't told you today, I love you. Alright? You're going to do great out there.
Well, in the dating market nowadays, lots of people say that they feel like bad people always win. And the modern dating feels broken, and there's a reason for it. So in economics, there's a concept called Gresham's law, and bad money drives out good money. And dating has a similar problem, and people who lack empathy, avoid responsibility, and keep multiple options open often get rewarded short term because they invest less, risk less, and live faster. And meanwhile, people who are emotionally available, consistent, and serious, they pay a higher emotional cost, so they get hurt so they get hurt more easily and leave the market earlier. And over time, what's left looks like a market full of avoidant, confused, and selfish behavior. I'm not saying there's definitely no good partners exist in the market. I'm saying healthy people stop participating in unhealthy systems. So if dating feels like bad behavior wins, it's because you're not designed for a broken market.
The fastest way to lose a good man isn't cheating. It's becoming his biggest source of stress instead of his peace. Men don't leave because someone prettier comes along. They leave because home becomes harder than the outside world. When a man is dealing with work pressure, financial stress. And the way to providing, he needs one place where he can breathe. That place should be you. Many women forget this. They compete with their man. Instead of complimenting him, they challenge every decision, question his leadership, and turn conversations into debates. That's not partnership. That's exhausting. A man doesn't need you to be his therapist or his mother. He needs you to be his woman. Soft, where the world is hard. Warm, where everything else is cold. Loyal, when everyone else is conditional. When a woman makes home a place of strength and peace, when she needs him, desires him, and chooses him daily, a man doesn't even see other women, not because he can't, but because nothing outside competes with what he has at home. Loyalty isn't a promise, it's a reality you create. If your man is distant, ask yourself, are you adding to his peace or his problems? Make home his sanctuary, or watch him find peace somewhere.
When I first started interviewing women in London, I really thought that these women were not real. And my first experience actually was a clip that went viral when I was interviewing a woman that I had met briefly in LA, and she was talking about her standards in a man. And she told me she required a pretty expensive engagement ring. I think it was around $250,000. So again, I did not think these women existed. I didn't think they were real until I started interviewing women and asking them what their standards were. Today, I'm going to talk about a tweet that I saw from a girl named Michaela. Tweeted her ideal man, and she said he has to be 6 foot plus, good facial bone structure, 120 IQ, deep voice, funny, assertive, a cowboy personality, and income over 130,000. Optional, Ivy League educated and old money. I have talked to a 27-year-old Los Angeles surgeon, a 28-year-old 2 Ivy League degrees son of a diplomat, rich, flies to a different state for haircuts and tennis with friends, a 23-year-old 6'4" UC Berkeley grad making $350,000 per year, and a 25-year-old MIT athlete frat boy who's now working as an engineer. One of them proposed. So I have a couple questions for Michaela. I have a lot of questions about just how realistic this is. Maybe it's more realistic than I think. I don't know. I'm welcome to being proven wrong.
Women who don't want to submit to a man because they're afraid of being controlled are the women who are controlling their man. And what they're really afraid of is losing that control. That's what submission is. It's surrendering control. Yielding to the leadership of your man does not mean blindly following orders and letting them boss you around. But the reason that women think that's what submission means is because that's how men have treated women in the past. But now women are the ones dominating their men and then complaining that they're not masculine enough. The minutia of it can be as mundane as my partner telling me, hey babe, can you pick up some eggs on your way from work? And submission would look like, yeah babe, what else would you like? What masculine women do is they challenge the leadership of their partner. Why do I have to do it? Why can't you do it? Or they criticize and challenge every decision they make. Masculine men will not put up with that type of behavior. Whether it's healthy masculinity or wounded masculinity, there's too much of the same energy going on. So if you want your man to be masculine, you have to be willing to drop that defensive masculine shield that pushes people away.
Women will not date you if you are broke. This post went viral a couple of days ago, and it's not hard to see why. Basically, a young girl saying that she only dates men who can pay for everything, and the amount of likes, as you can see, 300,000 plus likes, the amount of comments agreeing literally blows my mind. And this is what young girls are aspiring to. This is what young girls are seeing on social media and is thinking what they need to look for in a man in a relationship. As I've said before, social media has a lot to answer to, and this is just another example of young girls growing up thinking, do you know what I need to look for in a man? Not a man who's kind, not a man who's loyal, not a man who's going to be a good father, but a man who can take you on expensive trips and shower you with expensive presents. It doesn't matter if he's a complete a-hole, it doesn't matter if he treats you badly, it doesn't matter if he sleeps with other women, as long as he spends a lot of money on you. If you've got a bit of time today, try and locate this post and read through some of the comments, because literally you will be shocked to your core, or maybe you won't be shocked to your core, and that is even sadder. I don't want to have to pay for everything. I've had relationships where I've had to pay for everything. Like, I would like a man who's able to pay for himself. Of course, if you're married, your partner falls on hard times, loses their job or whatever, that's completely different. You're married, you're a partner. When I'm dating, I would like to date a man who could at least cover the cost of himself so that I don't have to pay for everything, because no one wants to feel like they're being used. But I would no way in expect a man to pay for everything continuously when I'm dating that person, especially if I've got expensive tastes, which I do in some ways. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you as shocked as me? And as always, everyone have a great day. I'm gonna go put a jumper on now because it's bloody cold.
Alex Cooper got rich poisoning the dating pool. For 6 years, she ran the biggest podcast in the country, telling young women that hookup culture is freedom, that men are disposable, that marriage is the cage, that settling down is losing. She didn't just have opinions, she built a movement. Millions of girls in their 20s grew up on her voice in their headphones. And it worked. Marriage rates are collapsing. Dating apps are a war zone. A whole generation of men and women can't find each other. Alex helped build that, and she got paid every time another young woman tuned in. And now look at the photo. She's pregnant, married, glowing on a magazine cover with her husband. She got the family, the baby, the exact life she spent 6 years telling other women they didn't need. And the woman in this tweet just admitted the whole game. She called it the feminist dream. Burn through men in your 20s, cash in a husband in your 30s. Alex sold the culture. She didn't live it. She got rich pointing other women toward a future she would never accept for herself. And the daughters watching her right now, they're the ones who'll pay for it. If you're watching the culture around you go sideways and you can feel it in your own marriage, drop me a DM. I do one-on-one confidential sessions about your specific situation.
Was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends, and we were on the topic about how women want men based on what they see that relationship look like on the outside, right? And they usually think that it is the man, but it's not usually the man. It's the woman that's supplying that lifestyle. It's the woman usually that's exposing that man to that life, that world. That is her world, and then she's bringing him into it. And he treats her based off of how she treats herself. So if she has this world that she's already cultivated, she has these standards for herself, she has this respect for herself, he has to give her the same respect that she gives herself. That is just cause and effect, right? Most women think that if they get the same man, that they will get.
And I appreciate the young man. He said, I used to be an incel, but you gotta change yourself to be somebody who, worth wanting. And I do understand that. I get that. I do agree. But I think a lot of times what we leave out is modern women have to learn how to read the room. You can't sit out here and sit up here and go and keep popping off at the mouth. This is what modern women are doing. If a man says, you know what, I mean, I don't really think that your body's that great, but it's something, you're not the best looking out there, but you look pretty good. You know what I mean? Like you're not Beyonce or some other lady or Megan Fox. You're not Megan Fox or anything, but I still want you. They might be paying you a compliment because they're saying, out of all the women out here, you don't have to measure up to them. You're perfect just the way that you are. I mean, I like you just the way I like your body, just the way it is, right? You don't have to be a Beyonce or a Megan Fox or one of these icons that is on Sports Illustrated magazine or Playboy. You don't have to be that. I like your body the way it is. You'll probably, once he clarifies, be like, oh, then why don't you just say you think that I'm beautiful? Instead of saying all that other stuff. You didn't have to bring in Megan Fox. You didn't have to bring in Beyonce. You could have just said, I'm beautiful. And this is what men keep on trying to tell you. Modern women say a lot of stuff when really they should probably not say it. You don't have to say, I don't need a man. You can just say, well, I'm kind of looking for a man that, has good character. And, I would really like to find a man that, he's valued in his community and whatever you want, and leave it at that. But the first thing a lot of modern women like to do is they like to say, well, I don't need a man. I just want a man. And if I never have a man in life, I'll be just fine. You don't have to say all of that. You can just say, I'm still looking for a man. I'm not desperate. You know, I'm not thirsty for one, but I would really, really like to have one.
Why don't women inherently go with the guy that's best for them?
To keep it very simple, historically, we have been programmed to conform to being a victim. Women, we like to be the one that got done wrong. This is why we struggle with accountability. Most women chase bad boys because being with a bad boy allows you to end up being a victim at some point or another.
Why do they want to be victims?
It is programmed in us that poor me is some type of flex as a woman and as a mother, where the majority of the women right off bat I knew I was going to be a single mother. I knew. And being a single mother, meaning a woman, poor woman left with children to raise on her own. That is something that they get to flex off of. They believe it is a flex. That's why when I say it produces the worst product, the comeback is, well, he did it to me. The bad boys will allow, you're able to say, girl, I was with Tyrone, he in the street. Yeah, he took me out. It was exciting. There's the excitement side, but then there's always, if this doesn't work out with Tyrone, I have a story where Tyrone was the one that did me wrong.
To the men that say feminism is destroying relationships, I want you to know something. If your relationship can be destroyed by feminism, then that means that your relationship is. Let me explain to you. If feminism, which is just the belief that men and women should be treated fairly and equitably, is the thing that is destroying your relationship, then that means your relationship isn't fair and equitable to the women in the relationship. So it's really not feminism that's destroying the relationship, it's misogyny. But whatever, however you want to look at it, at the end of the day, it's just proof that you know that the issue isn't necessarily feminism, but it is the unfair and inequitable treatment of women that you have no desire to change. It's essentially like a capitalist saying, paying people living wages is destroying capitalism. Like, if a capitalist got on TV and said, we can't as a company afford to pay everybody in our company a living wage, so socialism is destroying our company, then that would prove that capitalism is bad. If you can't afford to pay everybody in your company fairly and equitably, then that means your company is a bad company and it is not fair and equitable. That doesn't prove that socialism is destroying capitalism. That means that capitalism is destroying itself. So it doesn't mean that feminism is destroying relationships. It means that misogyny is. Misogyny is actually the thing that is destructive to relationships, not feminism. Feminism is destructive to misogyny, not to relationships.
Imagine being an average man. Now, I want you to let that thought sink in for a second, because I know a couple of people are thinking, I'm saying not that deep. It's peak, it's so peak. But you need to think, average men to most women are completely invisible. Like, they just Marco, Polo, Marco. And by average man, I just mean like, look, you're 6, 7 out of 10 looks, average height, maybe even a bit smaller, you know, average jobbish type of vibe. Like, you don't really have too much standout features going for yourself. But what's the peakest bit though, is women are completely different, in my opinion. Imagine a meaty ting, 5, 6, 7 out of 10, she could slap on makeup, she's good to go. Or the other way around, a woman can have no qualities, but then just be good looking, good to go, same type of vibe. Men don't get that privilege, so go work on yourself, go.
Passport bros phenomenon. If you don't know, passport bro is a black man who's decided that dating black women in America is too hard for him, so he needs to go out of the country and take his business elsewhere because the women here are taking advantage of him and we ain't worth nothing no way. So he's got to go get it elsewhere. The problem is not that you don't want to spend money on women. It's that you don't have enough money, which is what we have been saying all along.
I hate to say it, but Shorty right. The simple fact of the matter is, men in 2025, they don't got it like they used to. You feel what I'm saying? If we talking about top tier, high value men, those are far and few in between. Most men are not making over 100K per year, gang. And that's per year. And when we looking in the future and where dating is going, cooked, especially in North America. So, hey, if you single right now and you trying to find the best, and you a man and you trying to find the next best thing to do, me personally, I say go overseas, gang.
The digitization of mating, I believe, has been a disaster. It's been bad for women. It's been disastrous for men.
Dating apps have turned connection into a marketplace. They've gamified attraction, and the algorithm rewards looks, status, and fast dopamine. Now we have a whole generation of people who are lonelier than ever. So what's the solution? Sadhguru says that if you are joyful by your own nature, you will naturally attract beautiful relationships. So this might seem old school, but put your phone away. Stop outsourcing connection to dating apps and start living your life with joy. Be present, smile, make eye contact, talk to strangers, invest in friendships and community. Not because you're trying to get something, but because when you live with love, you become magnetic. And the very moment you open your heart to in-person connection is when you'll start to attract more meaningful relationships into your life.
None of us in here can be considered traditional women. And back then, an average guy could get a traditional woman. And now what does he get? He gets a boss babe, a girl that's been ran through. He gets an ex, he gets a born again virgin. Like,
and what do
this
I
is
get?
as women,
Yeah.
this is what do we get? We still get protection and provisioning.
Are you sure?
And
And
the
that's
average
that they be
salary,
looking for.
the average,
I'm not.
I mean, okay,
that's
but here's the
acceptable.
thing: the average salary could cover an apartment. But the thing is, like, women, we want this lifestyle that's not even realistic nowadays. Like, we want men that make more than we do, and we want them to pay all of the bills. But it's like, we all have our nails done. We have, we get our hair dyed. We have makeup. We have all of this stuff that costs money because we want this lifestyle. And I've had girls come on my show and I say, would you date an average guy for companionship? But you would have to go down in lifestyle. And they say, no, we're addicted to lifestyle.
I have a theory about women and men. I haven't said it out loud. I have a theory that almost everything about like major differences in relationship between men and women can be traced back to women getting their period. Go with me on this. I'm like any man. When I get a head cold, I'm just go on without me. No one's ever been this ill. I'm so sick. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Women from a quite young age learned the following lesson. You're going to be uncomfortable roughly every 28 days and you still have to get. So the fact that you're uncomfortable, you still have to operate under those conditions. You don't get to say, I have cramps, I'm going to be staying home for the next 2 days. You don't get to do that. So one, you learn how to operate when you're uncomfortable. Okay. Two, you actually have to plan ahead. Like a woman getting her period, like you have to be like, okay, I have to bring sanitary products. I have to think about, if I'm planning a thing, I don't want to plan it for this particular week because probably that's where I'll be in my cycle. So you have to plan. So I think that thing creates like certain habits of thought, like a willingness to be uncomfortable and still push through and operate. A planning ahead of things, realizing that like your body and your emotional state are going to fluctuate sometimes due to circumstances beyond your control and you just have to ride with it. Like men don't have anything like that. We're uncomfortable even for a second and we're like, well, this is broken. This is done. There's something seriously wrong. So that's the reason why, like, I think a lot of men, the minute something's gone uncomfortable in their marriage, they're like, well, we're done. Roll up the sleeve. We're done. We're finished. This is it. It's wrong. And it's like, no, you can't be. You got cold. You're gonna be all right.
For the first time in history, women aren't marrying men for financial stability or material things, just solely based on their character, and we're all single. Yeah, it turns out when women started choosing based on personality, maturity, emotional intelligence, consistency, basic human decency, the dating pool started looking like a clearance rack at 3 a.m. So now here we all are, single together. Back in the day, men had 2 job requirements. 1, don't. 2, provide. Boom. Marriage. Done. Okay, now women are like, I want a man who communicates. And suddenly the population dropped to 6. They want accountability, self-awareness, healing, growth, a man who can express a feeling without glitching. And we're all just collectively struggling with these new rules. Like, women finally said, okay, we'll handle our own money, our own careers, our own stability. Now show us who you are. And men everywhere were like, oh, you meant like personality. So, yeah, that's why everyone's single. Because the moment character entered the chat, half the roster evaporated. So, yeah, great. Happy New Year, everyone.
And you immediately start to think
this man played me. He was never serious. These men can't be trusted. And now your wall's back up. But I'm here to tell you, in a lot of those situations, it wasn't that he was playing games. It's that you were never reciprocating his effort. You kept sitting back with walls up, demanding his effort for him to chase you, for him to keep doing for you, but you were not returning the love. You weren't returning the desire. You weren't showing appreciation. You weren't giving the same effort. And at some point, even the man who is serious about you will grow tired. He won't want to keep trying because now he has to fear that you're playing him.
And once again, you know, the guy was talking about feminism doesn't destroy relationships. It's really your misogynistic views and you not wanting to treat women with respect and equality, because that's what feminism is. It's about women gaining respect and equality. Right. Once again, maybe when it first started, yes. But the version of feminism that it was is not the same version that we see today. Now you can come up and just say, you know, I just want to be treated like a person. Don't objectify me and think that I'm just, you know, a piece of meat to you. It makes sense. It makes sense to a lot of men, right? I understand that. Number one. Number two, even if we step off to the side and say, well, a lot of men think like this about a woman. A lot of women think a certain way about a man, right? Modern women have some views of men that are not equal either. They don't treat men equally. They go out there and they trash men, they dox men. But if a man were to do something in reverse, that, you know, uproar. They lie on men and they destroy a man's life in some situations. That's not equality, is it? That's not the treatment that we're thinking of that should be equal, is it? Of course not. So they do some things that really put men in a bad spot. But want everybody to back off and let them do it. So what you're really actually seeing, even from those extreme examples, even if we throw those to the side, what you're actually seeing is women that they're not really looking for equality. They're looking for superiority. And that's what this current version of feminism is. Well, you know, we have a lot of things that are equal, but in a lot of ways, I really want you to give me, like, if you're the CEO and I'm the CFO, or I'm an up and coming senior manager or director or whatever, I want you to give me your position. Just give it to me, because it's my time. It's my turn. Instead of going out there and hitting the pavement and doing the things that you need to do in order to get the job like that, you come up to the man and say, give it to me. That's what a lot of modern women are doing. Once again, like Kevin Samuel said, they are standing at the finish line, sitting, laying at the finish line, because they can't be bothered to stand there and do some work. So they're laying at the finish line, waiting for men, waiting for the winners to come across. I'm looking for the one that's going to do the most for me. I'm looking for the one that's going to elevate me the highest. And even though it's him elevating me the highest, he's still not on my level.
97% of women that go to college are not wifeable. And before you get emotional, studies have shown college-educated women are significantly more likely to delay marriage and prioritize career over family compared to previous generations. Going to college means spending 4 years conditioning women to be workers, to show up, follow instructions, climb the ladder. But by the time she graduates, she's perfectly trained to listen to her male boss more than her own man at home. Within those 4 years, women are placed into environments that normalize hookup culture, drinking, partying, hyper-independence, the whole I never need a man mindset, and also just the feminism that her college friends operate from. And because women are highly influenced by their environment, both emotionally and socially, most women unfortunately become products and conditioning of that culture without even realizing it. Not every woman, but 97% of women do, because a woman's natural instinct is to follow. And that natural follower instinct for women isn't a bad thing if they actually follow the right things. And let's be honest, it's hard to beat 4 years of indoctrination. That's why finding a feminine, family-oriented, disciplined woman today feels really rare. But don't worry, they're out there, but she just probably won't have a degree. And make sure to follow for more common sense content.
Did you know that for thousands of years, men didn't have to compete with thousands of other men on dating apps? Instead, dating was local. And this has led to one of the most interesting problems of our era. In fact, the number of adult male virgins reached an all-time high back in 2023, up almost 6% from 2013. This means that roughly 1 out of every 10 men between the age of 22 to 34 have never been in a relationship. So why is that? And part of this problem has to do with the rise of dating apps, where almost everyone is now meeting online. And there's a really interesting pattern that emerges on these dating apps, often referred to as the 80-20 rule. And basically, the top 20% of men are getting roughly 80% of the matches. And this level of inequality is actually higher compared to most countries. In fact, it's worse than the income distribution in the United States, Venezuela, and pretty close to South Africa. And when you combine that with the fact that there's significantly more male users on dating apps compared to women, this becomes a huge economic problem. And what's really fascinating is that dating online works much more differently compared to dating in real life. Studies have shown that online, your first couple of photos matter the most, while in person, there's multiple variables being calculated. This includes personality, voice, as well as humor that never gets showcased online. And all this leads to a phenomenon never seen in the dating world ever before, where a small group of individuals gets all the matches, and if you're in the bottom 30%, you basically get none.
Here we have a 2-for-1. It's an example of someone missing the point entirely, and also an example of toxic masculinity. Missing the point entirely, women don't need you. Women don't need men at all, in any capacity anymore. Women choose to have men in their lives, and they don't need them. So men, if you want to be in women's lives, then you need to bring more to the table than just your paycheck. You need to be able to be there and present as a human being, as an emotionally intelligent human being. Toxic masculinity, of course, is being unwilling to change and think that somehow your stoicism and your, regression to caveman status is admirable and in any way means that you're a man. It does not. All it is just toxic, immature, and childish, and shows that you have the maturity level of a 4-year-old toddler throwing a temper tantrum because he didn't get enough ice cream. So grow the up and be better. And this is bacon.
Simps are one of the many reasons as to why dating is in America. Online dating is a joke because in a woman's DMs, it's literally you against 99 simps. Who in the world wants to compete with that? It's just not worth it. Let's get past the whole, every woman's beautiful in her own way thing. Okay, let's say that is true. Here's my thing. You cannot go through your whole 20s getting ran through, get to your mid-30s, you have 4 kids, and then all of a sudden demand that you get a high-value man. You want to know why she has that mindset? Because through her whole 20s, she laid up with nothing but the Chads and the Pookies, but she also had the simps giving her all unnecessary compliments on the side as well. And that made her believe that she was worth more than what she actually is. Now, late 30s, 4 kids in, you demand that you have a high-value man. Imagine if a man in his late 30s and fat demanded model-type chicks. He would get dragged on Twitter to the end of the earth. I've always said this. It is easy for a woman that is 400 pounds to go outside and get laid. But a man that's just 250 pounds does not have that same privilege. But see, that's the kick. It's so easy for women to get laid. Men have to simp their way into some coochie. But the simps are the ones that's not even getting any. It's the 20%. So then those simps turn into incels. And then what do the incels do? They join Reddit groups, Discord groups, and they talk trash about women all day. A lot of y'all out there feel like y'all need validation from women. And I will also say this. A lot of y'all simps out there and incels are looking outside of y'all bracket. Now, no one's saying you can't chase after who you want. But just like the women sometimes, don't make it seem like nobody wants you.
I love rage baiting guys. It's like anytime I make a post about men should be providers, the whole comment section, it's only for men. Only for men. The whole comment section is, stop being a simp. You know that overused words that these little boys use. Stop being a simp. We don't have to provide. Women make their own money. Blah, 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 blah. Yesterday I had to sit down at a restaurant. I went to an Italian restaurant yesterday. And I'm not usually too nosy, but I am observant. And the couple next to me had got their bill. Their bill, I have no idea how much it was, but, you know, they were both looking at it. And I noticed him saying a few things and her responding, yeah, no problem. So she winds up giving her credit card, okay? Now, as I look at the meals, thinking $30 her meal, $30 his meal. They had some drinks. Probably an $80 meal. I don't know. She put her card in, and then he put, it looks like the tip, which was like, I don't know, $15 or something like that. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, it has to be these type of guys that are calling me a simp. You know what I'm saying? Splendid.
If you're going around saying black women have attitudes and all this, you're most likely just square or corny. Black women have really good corny radars and DL radars. It's like kind of like installed in their software as they get older. It's just the programming keeps updating. So if you do some corny weird, then you might get an attitude for them. You might get a little distance from them. They might call you a name.
Men who make their content about pandering to women really piss me off. And just in case you don't think that this man is a panderer, let's watch another video.
Your husband is dark skinned. You need to get you a dark skinned man this summer that's bearded with muscles and tattoos, good height, emotional stability, likes to go to church, gives you princess treatment adversely.
Pandering to women online is extremely profitable, both monetarily and in other ways, but I can't stand it because it keeps women delusional. Y'all are gonna hold off on dating trying to find a man like him when he's not even a man like him. He's telling y'all to find a husband while he's thirst trapping on TikTok for strangers. Let's bring this back to reality. Men know what women want to hear, and so he's saying that on purpose. He's a wannabe Derek Jackson, and to the hundreds of thousands of followers that have fallen for his nonsense, I pity you for being such a dummy.
What's your body count? Does body count matter to you?
What's my body count? My body count is a cool 15, and I think body count matters because I think it shows who you are, but I have a different worldview on body count between men and women.
15's not bad at all.
Just enough, just right.
Yeah, I agree. If it was like over like 30, that's a little much.
I agree.
My body count is 5. I don't know if I should count one of them. They kind of only lasted 30 seconds. Personally, like I said, if it's over 50 or 30, like I feel like that's way too much, but body count really shouldn't matter as long as you're clean and healthy.
There you go. Wrap it or lose it.
Yep.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how freaky are you?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how freaky am I and what's the most freaky thing I've done? I'd say on a scale, it depends on the person. With a person who's not really into it or whatever, I say I'm a 1, just get the job done. If it's with the right person, I'm definitely a 10 out of 10. And the most freaky thing I've done will not be enclosed on the internet. I'm sorry, y'all.
He's not ghosting you. He's conditioning you. There's a difference. Ghosting is when a man disappears completely and you never hear from him again. But conditioning is when a man strategically pulls back and doesn't call you for a few days because he wants to give you the impression that he has options or something better to do. That raises your anxiety, it triggers your insecurities, and makes you vulnerable to chasing his validation. Ghosting is complete absence. Conditioning is psychological manipulation.
Trendy dating advice that's actually toxic, part 2. Match their energy. If they pull back, you pull back. If they take...
That is a great theory, unless you are familiar with John Nash and his Nobel Prize winning work in 1994, demonstrating that tit for tat, or matching people's energy, is the most effective interpersonal strategy. I mean, he did win the Nobel Prize for that work, as later specified and applied to things like dating and social interaction by Bob Trivers and others. But what do they know? If you think about it.
And once again, we still continue to talk about men needing to grow up and be better. If a man takes you out on a date and he pays for the entire date, that's a meal that you didn't have to pay for at the very least. And then, because we keep on talking about men don't have any emotional intelligence. We keep on talking about men don't know how to read the room. But then we still have modern women out here on dates not saying thank you. A simple thank you. We have them complaining that, well, you know, you took me to a nice restaurant, but you didn't give me flowers. You didn't give me flowers. I expect gifts. How are we saying that the man needs emotional intelligence, but we're not talking to her about the emotional intelligence she needs? You know what I mean? How are we not pointing that out? That's the problem I think that a lot of men are running into, is how in the world do we keep on saying it's on the men? It's on the men. 90% of the problem is because of the men. How do we keep on getting there? But modern women keep on showing their behinds online. Where is the accountability?